and welcome to my jungle kitchen. It's my indoor jungle kitchen. I'm trying to video these videos in the rainy season, so if it starts to rain and you hear shh, just know we have tin roofs, and so when the rain hits, it makes a lot of noise. The noise is good when you're sleeping, not so good when you're cooking. If you hear the dogs barking, it's just my dogs barking. If a bird happens to fly through this house, it's fine. If you see any creepy crawlers on the walls behind me, it's okay. This is from my jungle to yours. My brother's birthday is coming up and he asked for me to make a few things. And so I thought I would video as I'm making it. Now he wants what's called a spanakopita. And even though I am totally a Caribbean girl in every single way, I enjoy foods from all over the world. I really do. And this one is a Greek dish, and he really wants it. Now, Phyllo Sheets cannot be found in my country. And so I have to make them from scratch. It's a tedious process, but I'm going to do it. It's my brother's birthday. So what you want to do, hold on, let me get one thing here, is that what I have is 4 cups of flour, about 2/3 of a cup of oil. Now this is, spanakopita is an oily dish. So if you're oil free or you have high cholesterol or something like that, this is not a dish that you want to eat. And this is 1 cup of water. And then what I'm going to do is just mix this a little bit. You know, water and oil doesn't come together, but if you mix it long enough, there's a little bit of coming together, and it's not really required for this dish so much, but that's sufficient. Just have my well, and I am going to be mixing as I go. So if you can't see, I hope you can see that. It doesn't have to be neat or tidy. This dish doesn't require it. Just keep mixing as you go. Just keep mixing as you go, and eventually I'm going to get my hands in there just to make a dough. And this is my whisk. It's full of this stuff. But not to worry, I'm going to get it out. And there's a bee, as you can see. Yeah, things fly in this house all the time. It's open. And this is a plant-based channel. That is basically vegan, but we do use honey. I know some people don't appreciate that. But we actually keep our own hives, and I don't believe that honey is not good to eat, biblically so. So let me go ahead and pull up my sleeves because I don't want to get anything in here. And let me see about my mixture. Okay, it's pretty good because I wasn't sure if I was going to need a little bit more water or maybe a little bit more oil. So a lot of people ask me about doughs, and doughs is about feel. It's really not so much about the recipe. It's about the feel of the dough in your hand. So a good dough feels soft, but not so soft that it's always sticking to your fingers, but soft enough. And then this little bee here guy wants some of my flour. And in this video, sometimes you're going to see all kinds of things fly in here, not just bees. And that little bee here, he doesn't make honey like we do it. He makes another kind of, well, they're calling it honey, but it's a kind of a syrup to me. So this is any all-purpose flour that you want to use. I like using Prairie Gold flour. It's a white wheat, and it makes everything come out well, and it's a good wheat. It's wheat, but it's just a white wheat. It's softer. Okay, so here I have this, and what I'm going to do is roll it and just break it up into a couple of balls that I can use. So I'm going to roll it, and my rolling pin is rolling around too, my board, as I roll. Just know everything here in these videos are not going to be perfect like in other videos that you might see on YouTube. Nope. All right, it doesn't have to be, like I said, in any particular order. Dough is interesting because dough doesn't require much at all. All right, so great. And I'm just going to cut these into 12. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to make them a little bit smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, you don't have to make your balls proper. They don't need to be equal. That's not important. So you just want to make your balls and just, yeah, like I'm doing, just throw them. I'm going to throw them into this dish here. Throw them on each other. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So what I do want to do is reach over here. I do want to reach over here, and I know this might not be in your camera video, but all I'm doing is grabbing some flour. I'm just grabbing some flour, and I'm just going to throw some flour there, just so I can make sure I can roll this. And again, this is not... I'm developing the gluten in this. I want it to be paper thin almost. There's several ways you can do this. Like when you're making a wonton cracker, wonton wrapper, you can put several pieces on each other. But I've tried that method, and the best method I do is just to roll it. And if it's not coming, just crumble it up in your hands, just like what I did, and just keep rolling it. And eventually, it gives you what you want it to do. Now this piece... And like I said again, if you were living in another country, you could just go out and buy some spanakopita. But in my country of Guyana, you can get Phyllo Sheets. And that's what I mean. You could go out and buy some Phyllo Sheets. But in my country, no. So if you want this dish, or if you want a baklava or anything that uses Phyllo Sheets, then you need to create your own. And believe it or not, this works very well. Very, very well. By the way, this also makes an extremely good unleavened cracker. And you can add flax seeds to that mixture. And then you roll a paper tin just like this. And you bake in the oven for a little while. You want it so that you can see your fingers through it. You see, it's coming. You want so that you can see your fingers through it. That's the thinness that you're going for. And so I'm just going to keep, like I said, just rolling away on this because... And when you roll away on this, and when you get it, you can use this for a wonton wrapper, or if you're making a samosa. And I've seen people make it in all different ways, but I've tried it, and to me, the very best way is just to use this recipe and just to roll. Keep rolling until you have your paper thinness. It doesn't need to be neat. It doesn't need to be orderly, especially for the spanakopita. It doesn't matter. It will not be seen in the rest of the recipe. So I'm making my Phyllo Sheets, and again I'm just rolling it paper tin, paper tin, paper tin. It's all I'm doing. And so I've rolled this one nicely paper tinned. You don't have to worry, it's not going to be like a sticky thing. And then you can see my hand through that, right? So that's about one of them, and I'm going to put it onto a pan just to keep it that way until I'm ready to use it. Until I'm ready to use it. And that's it. And you just keep going, just like that. Throw a little flour, and you keep rolling. And that's how you make Phyllo Sheets. That's how you make Phyllo Sheets. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to put together my spanakopita.